Hey guys, my name's Frank and this is my workshop. Alright, hack number 5. This is the Hitachi compound miter saw. This is a nice saw because the rails stick out in front as opposed to behind the saw. So when the saw, you don't need as much space behind the saw. And this particular one has a laser that shows you the cut line, which I think is a game changer for a miter saw. If you don't have a laser on your miter saw, you need to get a new miter saw. A lot of manufacturers have them. I think it's indispensable. The best part about this is dust collection. Miter saws kick up a lot of dust behind them. Here I've got a vacuum hose attached to the port on the back of the saw blade cover, and it's connected to a rigid shop vac here, and it's from Home Depot. These rigid makes great shop vacs. I think I have 3 of these in the shop here. They're small and they're powerful. They work great. The advantage of this installation is there's a switch here on the wall that activates an outlet underneath that the vac is plugged into, so I don't want to make a cut. It's just a matter of flipping the switch, making the cut, and cutting it off. All right. They do sell, and I once had an automatic switch that plugs in the outlet and it slaves the vacuum to the saw. Problem with that is it had a cutoff delay that lasted 4, 5, or 6 seconds, and it was kind of annoying. I think it's just much easier to do it this way, and you save the cost of the $100 switch, whatever it costs. All right. Number 4. Install your router in the extension of your table saw. This allows you to share the rip fence with your router. This router is on a lift, so you can bring the router bit above the table surface at any time, or you can keep it below the surface when it's not in use, and your rip fence slides right over it. All the chips are collected in a box below, and there's dust collection into this box, and you can reach in here if you need to service the router itself, or the plate comes off here to change bits. So this is my Rockwell Unisaw with the 54-inch rip fence, and I like this. I like the Unifence as opposed to the Bessmeyer fence arrangement. This allows me to have a large outfeed table without having to worry about the fence, and this fence is obviously adjustable for length. So that's number 4. Put your router table in your table saw extension table. All right, number 3 on my list of workshop hacks. This is a Grizzly 24-inch planer. It's 5 horsepower. It does a great job. But like a lot of larger planers, it had rollers in the feed bed. So anytime you try to send a board through the planer, which was the least bit warped, and in fact most rough cut lumber had a very difficult time with the rollers on the bottom of the infeed table. Any variation in the thickness of the lumber, or any issue with it at all, if it hadn't been jointed, for example, then it would be difficult for this to feed. I've installed a piece of plywood to which is attached a piece of ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene sheet. This is relatively inexpensive, it's very slippery, It's flat. It's held flat by the plywood underneath it. It's a piece of cabinet grade, 3/4 inch cabinet grade plywood, so it's flat. Now when you feed a board through the planer, it slides right through, regardless of how rough it is or whatever condition it's in. So it's changed the planer from a rather frustrating tool to use to a dream tool. It just saves a huge amount of effort trying to adjust and readjust the rollers on the feed bed. Solves all that. All right, hack number 2. This is also related to the planer. On my dust collection system, and you'll see that I have a dust collection system here. The main line runs across the top of the shop to a dust collector over on the other end of the shop. It's a 6-inch line, and a 5-inch hose comes off of it into a separator here in this trash can. So here's this cyclone type separator, sits on top of a 30-gallon trash can. We can see this one's full of, needs to be emptied. And then the other line comes off of it into the planer. So this trash can collects 90% of the chips generated by the planer, rather than sending them all the way down the dust collection system to the collection bag at the other end. Emptying the bag is a little more involved. Emptying this trash can is just simple. Pop the lid off, carry it outside, dump it in the wood chip pile. So if you don't have a separator on your planer and you're filling up your dust collection system repeatedly, this is the way to go. The lid, I think, is available from Woodcraft or Grizzly or any of a number of other woodworking supply places. It costs, I don't know, I think it's like 20 bucks. So it's a great addition to any planer. All right, number 1, floor space is always a premium in any workshop. In my previous workshop, which was about half the size of this one, it was especially difficult to find floor space. I purchased this Performax 16-inch open-ended drum sander, and it came on its own metal stand. I had a planer here which looked like it would hold it, so I set the sander on top of the planer. So this runs, has a feed belt. It's open-ended, so you can actually, they claim you can sand boards up to 32 inches wide. It's a little problematic when you get over the width of 16, but it does a wonderful job for example, prepping veneers or getting small pieces of wood down to a consistent size, too small to send through the planer itself. So this saves the entire floor space of another machine. It has a dust collection system, a dust collection hose, of course, makes a lot of dust, but being able to have it on top of the planer saves floor space. So I think that's my number 1 improvement to the shop. Okay guys, that's my 5 favorite shop hacks. If you have any other suggestions or you have any hacks for your shop, put them in the comments down below. Share them with the other folks watching the video. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. We're planning to do a complete shop tour, so look for that video in the coming week. Okay, so that's all for right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.